All right, over the weekend, my wife and I decided to sit down and watch the new Netflix film just released Friday, Senior Year. Um, yeah, critics are not receiving this thing well. Let me just tell you. Listen, this is how it went down. So I was at work, and my wife sent me the trailer, and she said we should really watch this. And I watched the trailer, and it looked really funny. I love Rebel Wilson. I think she's hilarious. She's been hilarious in everything I've seen her in. I would say the only thing that really blew me away about this film was Rebel Wilson's weight loss. I didn't know that she looked completely different now. Had no idea she had lost that much weight. And so when I saw the trailer, I'm like, wait a minute, is that because her voice is iconic? I mean, you can't mistake that voice for any other voice. Australian accent, and just the way she talks is hilarious. The way her delivery is hilarious. Anyway, I've always loved her and stuff. She always plays a smaller character most of the time. She's not usually like the main character in her film, but comedic actress, very funny. I've enjoyed her work. So watching the trailer, I'm like, oh, this looks actually really funny. And the seller for my wife and I, the reason she sent me the trailer in the first place was the nostalgia piece, right? You guys know I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and this is a story all about how my life got flipped upside down. And okay, no, this is a story about a girl in high school, her senior year, and the year is 2002, and she has an accident, ends up in a coma, wakes up 20 years later. So now, when she went into the coma, she was like the most popular girl in school, had an amazing, awesome, fun teenage high school life, right? She was peaking, and she had worked really hard to become prom queen and, head of the cheer squad, etc., etc. And, she has this accident. She wakes up 20 years later, and yeah, she's 37 years old. Can you imagine? Now, this is the most interesting thing about it, right? Because it makes you ask questions all throughout, like, man, what would that be like to wake up, like you're 17 one day, and in your head, the next day you wake up and you're 37. Everyone you know is the age you are now, which, all this movie did is remind my wife and I how old we are. We're literally the exact same age. We graduated in 2003, and so, yeah, it was like the perfect movie for us. It was targeted at us, right? So we're like, we definitely got to watch this. Guys, it wasn't that good. It just wasn't that good. All the funniest lines, and there were a lot of funny lines, but they were all in the trailer that I watched. I think people would probably enjoy the movie more if they didn't watch the trailer first and had no idea what they were going into. But a lot of it was just really cheesy. Not the greatest, like some of the jokes, a lot of the jokes didn't land really. But it did a really good job of comparing, the culture of 2002 to the culture of 2022. Because when she comes out, she decides she's going to go finish her senior year in high school. Very Billy Madison-esque, right? She wants to go back and finish now that she's older. And she goes in and she tries to become the queen of the school again at 37 years old. So really great premise. I love this idea. 17 again, never been kissed. And it's very much like a play on all of those, right? On all these great films where someone has done this, like a years later revisit high school. I don't know. It's like a mix of all those things. Anyway, fantastic premise. It just felt so cheesy. It really did. There were parts that I enjoyed. Like I said, Rebel Wilson is hilarious. But a lot of it just did not land. I remember we finished watching it, and I hadn't really said much throughout the movie. Neither had my wife. I mean, we laughed at some parts. But at the end, I go, well, what'd you think? She's like, and we have this ongoing joke because when she picks movies, a lot of the times they're horrible because she doesn't know anything about anything. She'll just pick a random movie. She'll be like, oh, I bet this is good. Based on the name or the description or whatever. And she doesn't care about reviews or anything like that. So we just go in and we watch it. And a lot of times she picks out some real stinkers. So with this one, she goes, well, I guess my streak of picking fantastic films to watch is also alive and well. So, yeah, was not the greatest. I don't really recommend it. Critics, like I said, if you want to watch a movie that's entertaining with the same type of premise, go watch some of the great, films from the 90s, early 2000s. I did like the comparison of cultures, though. It really did kind of make fun of today's culture a little bit, but also, depending on who you are. I mean, I guess if you were a late teen, early 20s watching this film, you might think they're making fun of the culture of 2002. So it works in that sense. But otherwise, it was meh. It wasn't what the trailer had me believing it was going to be. So I think a lot of the critics have it at like 40%, 30%, 50, under 50%. And I've got to agree with that. It was super mediocre. I probably wouldn't waste my time watching it again. One time is enough. But I'd like to know what you guys thought of it if you watched it. And did you have the same thoughts as me? Like, did you see the trailer and go, oh, this looks like it's going to be friggin' hilarious? And then you watch it, it's like, okay, it is hilarious. At least the trailer. The trailer was hilarious. But when pieced together with the rest of the movie, it just wasn't that great. Anyway, yes, I'd love to hear what you guys think if you've seen this movie. If you haven't seen the movie, I would just not worry about it. But let me know in the comments below if you have seen it, or if you're listening in podcast format, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter and let me know over there what you thought of Senior Year. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this review, please like it, share it, all that good stuff to help the channel reach more people. And if you enjoy what I do here, which is basically talk about entertainment and pop culture on a semi-regular basis, I try to do it daily. That's why I call it Channel Daily BS. But I'm not perfect, but I give it my damnedest to get something out every day in some form. So yeah, if you're interested in something like that, please subscribe for more. And if you do decide to subscribe and stick around, then I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.